What is going on, guys? Today is Wednesday, June 4th, and I know it's been a while, so I want to talk about that a little bit. I've been away from the markets for probably about 3 months, give or take. Back in the beginning of March, I closed out my 20K trade the pool funded account. So I'll pull up my total P&L, or my total payouts for the accounts. So these are all the accounts that I had with Trade the Pool. I don't know if you guys are aware, but when you're scaling up an account, you pretty much pass an account and they give you another certificate. So I had the 20K. These are not like all evaluations that I passed. I only passed two evaluations. I want to say two or three. I can't. I don't recall. I could look. But anyways, when you hit your profit objective, which on the 20K was 2 grand. So once you make that 2 grand, you scale up to a new account with I think it was 22 or 22,000 buying power. But anyways, they give you a new certificate. I guess funded certificate. So yeah, that's what happened there. And these are all my payouts that I received going back to the end of last year, December 2024. So these are all the certificates that I received, and then here is my my total payouts. So pretty much till December, I want to say to December to the beginning of March, when I closed out my my last 20K funded account. I think this was the payout actually right here. I could even see it right here. 12/3/2025. Yeah. So yeah, that's right. That's my 12/3. Yeah, that had been okay. So, yeah, this is my last payout. This is when I pretty much closed out the account that I had with them. So, yeah, and that's my total. So my total payout with Trade the Pool was $4,321. I know it's not a lot of money or anything, but that was pretty much 3 months of trading on a 20K account, and a lot has changed with Trade the Pool. I am back. I am doing a new evaluation. This time I am going with, or I went with, the 100K max. So their account structure is a bit different now from back then when I first started trading with Trade the Pool. So the 20K max account is pretty much I don't really need to explain it. I guess you guys could look if you're interested. But you got to make 6 grand. It's 6%. You got 3% drawdown. So you got 3 grand as a drawdown, max drawdown. That's when you blow your account, and you got 1% daily loss limit. So you got $1,000 you could lose a day. You got a max loss of $3,000 and a total profit. So the profit objective, what you got to reach is 6 grand. So you got to make $6,000 in order to be moved to a funded account. And really, just off the top of my head, what I recall on the max account, the reason why I went with that, yeah, there is a time limit to pass the evaluation. I believe it's like 2 months. So I think it's 60 days. So that's fine. I shouldn't have no problem. But the real reason I went with a max account, because you're not restricted on, like, what do they call it? The pretty much the I can't even recall what it was, but consistency. That's what they call it. So the consistency rule, right? So there is a consistency rule on the evaluation, which is 30%, but there is no consistency rule on a funded account. And a lot of you guys know that, I when I first started Trade the Pool, I was trading large caps. Then I kind of moved over, and I never really did so good with small caps on my personal account, but I moved over to small caps. And from then I just started seeing a lot more consistency. I mean, I don't want to say consistency, but my win-loss ratio was so much better. I was losing a good amount of trades, but they're pretty much break even. Every time you break even, it counts as a losing trade with Trade the Pool. Or, you know, with minus commissions, I guess, you know, it depends how you really look at their break even trades. For me, that, you know, it doesn't really matter. But when you look at your consistency rate, you know, I was only winning probably somewhere around 20 to 30% of my trades, but I was still profitable overall because I was getting like 5 times, you know, when I'm right than when I'm wrong. So I was making a lot more when I was right. So that's how I really, you know, have been trading with the 20K account. And now that I am on this, as you guys can see right here, it's a little bit different. Now you got the actual balance. So it's $100,000 account. And you guys can see today is my first day trading this evaluation. So just to give you guys, you know, the heads up on that. And I want to be doing like I did in the past. Every single day, I want to try to get in a recap of my trades for the day. And you can see today I am up $535. So not a bad day, you know. For the 100K, I'm trying to. I like to try to get one time daily loss. So if my daily loss is $1,000, I want to try to be able to make $1,000 in a day. But you know, not all days are going to be like that. Some days are going to be break. You know, I just, you know, I don't want to lose. I don't want to hit my max daily loss. So if I could keep in the ballpark like $500 as max risk, you know, and just be disciplined, walk away, turn off the screens, do what I need to do when I'm down, and then if I'm up 500, you know, give or take on the day, just, you know, and there's really nothing, you know, moving or nothing else that I'm interested in, and it's getting later on in the day, I try to only trade to 11:30. So yeah, if it's getting later on in the day, then just you know, 11:30, just walk away, you know, book profits and run, right? So yeah, today I traded KWM and STSS, both, I think KW, news and news. So news on both. It was something to do with some Bitcoin treasury strategy, Bitcoin focused treasury strategy. $50 million secure purchase agreement, to advance. Okay, so it wasn't really, I didn't really find it nothing too significant. Up really decent pre-market, as you can see here on the 5-minute. Really good push pre-market. And I know I don't have the little arrows on here. I lost connection on my platform. I did not shut my platform off because I know that if you shut your platform off, your little arrows, your execution arrows, they go away. So that, you know, but I did see here, give me a second, got a screenshot. Let's see if I can pull them over here. So these are all my executions on KWM, and I believe the float, actually I don't have a number for the float. I want to say, I don't actually have on Benzinga Pro. They don't you don't have a number for a float on, what is this, KWM. So I don't know the float. I'm probably guessing somewhere around 1 million, 2 million share float. So it's not like a micro float, you know, sub-million share float. But yeah, so my first trade was here, took a break below this level, and like I said, this is the opening kind of like 3-minute. I usually try to wait for the 5-minute, you know, range to get set in. This is like a really like more like a 2-minute range, and I did get stopped out. So that was, that was the first trade. I think $65. Actually, I had my stop loss initially above 5, but once it broke, and kind of got sucked back in, I moved my stop. I want to say, well, probably way too close. So that was a $65 loss that, really didn't need to happen. If I just kept my stop maybe above the breakout candle below that 2-minute low. Had some good consolidation, didn't get back into it, and then this line here was pre-market support. I tried a long off that, and I tried a long off of it, didn't work, got stopped out, another $25 loss, and then this here, right at $4, I tried a short, and this is one thing I'm going to be doing different with this account, is I'm going to be trying to scale in. Sometimes I'm taking roughly 500 to 1,000 shares just to build up a cushion in the account. I'm not trying to, 2,000-3,000 shares. I'm not even using, but a couple percent of my buying power on a $4 stock, $5 stock, buying 1,000 shares. 20%, maybe 15% of my buying power. But anyways, usually how I usually trade, I would try to catch the flush like I did here, and sometimes, a lot of times they don't work, and that's why, my win rate wasn't so great, doing the 20K account. But when you're on a 20K account, you only have a $300 drawdown, and you're trying to scale in, and you're trying to make a decent amount of money too, as much as you can on a, with a, really got to look at it, you got $300 daily risk. And so I like to try to catch the flushes, because if they happen, I can move my stop to break even really, really quick and see if I could get momentum, in my favor. Kind of something like here, maybe 435, break below 435, and you can see you have 1, 2, almost, you had 2, 1-minute candles, roughly 20-30 cents, and if you're taking 1,000 shares, that's $200-300. So on a 20K account, that's great. But I'm up now to the 100K account, so we got to trade a little bit different, and we got room to trade. So I got $1,000 risk for the day. So yeah, I tried to short right up at the top of this kind of like swing high here. Did not, of course it ripped right above it, and then I think this was 500, and I added 500 here and pretty much took it out, and I think this was pretty much break even. I think it was pretty much break even. All the little $2.50, $5, those are commissions, so I think I pretty much broke even on this trade. Took it off there. And then I think after this little kind of like doji candle right here at the highs, I was really looking for this thing to come back down. I mean, I was kind of upset because if I had that short here, stop up here and kind of rode it down, took some off here, took some off down here, that would have been a great trade. But I unfortunately got stopped out for $65. And I did try along here because, I thought that was going to hold, and I did see some buyers as major pre-market support. But anyways, moving on. Took a short there. It did not work. Starting to see some, as you see, volume kicking in here. After it broke that, pre-market, back here was support, looking for it to turn into resistance, but it didn't hold as resistance, so it broke right through, and that was it for me, and I was out. So that was 195. I think I did take 1,000 shares on that trade here, right here, 1,000 shares, and I got hit with a $195 loss. So yeah, overall the morning, and I was trading this STSS too as well. This was just chop. That was chop. The spreads were like, what were they like? Probably like 15-20 cents, give or take at times, and it just was a lot of chop. I lost about $85 on STSS, and I don't have a screenshot, so I can't show you. I apologize. But not to get off topic here, but once I started seeing this volume kick in here, I was like, okay, this thing's gonna run the highs. And truthfully, I was watching the STSS too, and they were kind of moving in sync. you know, and I know they both had some Bitcoin investment, treasury investments or something that they were doing. So I don't know if they're, I didn't really dig too deep into like, you know, the relationship between the two companies, but they were really kind of like trading in sync in a way. STSS was chop, but when it had a big green bar, you know, we had a big, you know, we had some momentum come through on KWM. But yeah, anyways, took a trade here, this time long. Bias has changed. I mean, we broke, you know, here we broke this swing high, you know, came up, held that swing high as support, you know, and then broke this kind of like, so right now we're trending up, and then we had this swing high over here, and you know, we're just like consolidating right just above that swing high. So, you know, trend changed, you know, trends change. So now looking long on this trade. So I took a long here, and I was worried for a flush at VWAP. I don't have VWAP on this chart, but VWAP was kind of like down here. So I was worried for a flush down, and at this time I only had 500. I lightened up my share size after that, what was it, that, you know, $195 loss. You know, at this time, you know, between this and STSS, I think I was down almost $300. So, you know, I reduced share size, 500 shares. And yeah, this really, yeah, this trade was really break even, $32 loss. You know, I don't know if you could really see, I don't want to blind you guys. I know this is a white chart here and not the black ones. But yeah, I took it there. I just saw once I saw like these wicks, and you kind of see how it's wicking down, and it's kind of like, you know, doing a inverted U here. I was worried for a flush right down, you know, and 500 shares, I could have lost another $200-300 really quick if that thing flushed right down to VWAP. So I took it out, waited a second, and then got back in here, and then it didn't look back. I tried to target 6. I got 6. I got well above 6. Actually got a better fill because I actually was like right at 6, and I got like you know, probably like 610, 615 there. So yeah, really, you know, better fill than you know, it just pushed right through my my order there at 6. I almost went up to 650. And then yeah, it just after this I was worried. I wanted to try to catch the backside because I love trying to catch the backsides on it, but a lot of times they don't work. You know, a lot of times trying to catch the backside, yeah, especially on these momentum names, you know, and that's really moving. I mean, sometimes they don't work, but you know, this would have been a great time to try to, you know, get some shares here, stop, you know. But for me, that's more risky, you know. But once we broke this, like, you know, we had this, you know, low put in here, came back up, and this flush here. A lot of times I might flush right back down to VWAP, and now VWAP's right here. I remember this because I wanted to take a trade right off of 5, right off, yeah, really like right in here. I did not make it. I think I did have an order like right at the low of, you know, the big candle, big green candle here. Did not get filled. So yeah, I didn't get filled on that one. I mean, I probably wouldn't have made anything because I probably would have been hard-headed thinking this thing's gonna go back up to like, you know, 650, and then it came right back down. So I mean, it is what it is. And then at this time I was just watching some sellers up here at like 518, 520, and there were some big sellers. There was a lot of red on the tape, and you know, I felt like the thing was gonna go down, and I kind of got in right here. Took about $150 risk on the trade, risking pretty much all my morning, you know, well, we're still in the morning, but you know, all my profits that I made, you know, off of this good trade here. This trade here was $632. So that was a $632 trade. Excuse me. And then this trade here was $337. So yeah, you know, took a short there right above 5. I think VWAP at the time was right at 5, if I'm not mistaken. It had a nice flush. had a real nice flush, and I just closed out right there for a total of 535 for the day, and I was happy. It was about 11, well, it was going on 11, so just walked away. And I could show you guys this trade here, which is this trade here, just to do like a little recap. Just to kind of do a little recap here. I'm recording my screen, so as the trading the trading day progress, I record my screen once the market open. Here I just took that trade out. The first one I told you that I showed you guys right here. You see how it was coming down, and I was worried it was gonna flush. I don't have even VWAP. I have them on my Thinker swim charts, but I don't have VWAP up on these charts here. So, but yeah, like I said, VWAP was down here, and you can see this. You can see the 15. You can see a 480. You got 1,100 shares right where they get. Yep. You see how that came down. You had 1,100 shares, and then you had like 15, and in 15 they were stacking the bid like right under 480. So right then and there, I knew. That's why I jumped right back in. I know it happened really quick, but that's what I was looking at over here, level 2. And I know a lot of people say this level 2 is really not all that great with trade the pool. It's how I got it configured. I like it because it consolidates the. It doesn't show you the market makers or anything. You can see 10,000, 11,000 right there, 546, but it doesn't show the market makers. But how I got it, so each level I have it summed. You're not going to be able to get the market makers in there. They don't give you like I think it's just like NASDAQ total view, if I'm not mistaken. They don't give you like full depth of book, ARCA, and all the other exchanges. You see, I put a limit order right up at 6. I think it was I think I just took it off because it's getting up there so quick. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I did have an order up there at 6, and you see it's about ready to get halted. You see, look at that. Look at these guys buying up here. Oh boy, I think I might have to put this one back, and let's pay attention to the level 2. These are good things to do when you're recapping your day, is to look at level 2, see what's happening, so you can get better. I took mine out, but watch this at 611. There you go, 635 right there, 20,000 shares. You see, they're getting hit. Sellers trying to hit that 20,000 shares. They were trying to buy them up, and sellers were just hitting right into them. So that was a good sign that this is about right there. Is about where it's gonna, and you can see not too many sellers, about 500, 700. You don't see any buyers. You got this guy 604. He was like 3,000 shares. So 604 is like right there. But there we go. We're stacking on the sell. Oh, you saw that 6,000 shares selling on the offer. You see that 6,000 on the offer. About 338. 638. Excuse me. So yeah, that's right where that 20,000 right there. That was where that 20,000 bid was at. And you saw red on the tape. The sellers were hitting into that bid. They were hitting him aggressively, So, and that was actually the high. So that was the high of the day. So that was it for this trade, pretty much. So yeah, it's something interesting, and to watch, to go back and review to see what's actually happening. I know, when you're in these trades, you're watching this really quick. And things are happening so quick. That's another thing. I don't know, when I switch ticker symbols, this thing freezes up. I don't know. I think it's my excuse me. I think it's my computer. There's some water here, but yeah, I don't know. I've been having issues with my computer, so I don't know if it's I gotta figure that out. Because every time I hit a ticker symbol, the thing freezes up. For a couple seconds. Well, you see it right there. I just hit TGL. You see it froze and it came back. I don't know why that was doing that, but yeah. Anyways, that was that trade. Move this on over here. That was that trade. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do these recaps because I always I'm trying to improve as a trader. I'm trying to get better every single day. I understand that I've been away from the markets for a while, and I've been away from my channel for a while. So I've been working on a lot of projects. I guess I could show you something that if you guys are interested. That's another thing for this channel. What I'm gonna do every Friday. I've been working on a big project. A lot of you guys know that get this off of here. A lot of you guys know that has been following me for a while and watching my channel. That I'm also a developer too, so a web developer, full stack, and I've been working on an application that pretty much will it's going to be like a TradeZillow or a Trader View, but I'm taking, like, I don't know if any of you guys are aware, like S&B Capital or Lance Brainstein. I keep butchering his last name every time I try to say it, so his name's Lance, but he's like a trading coach, performance coach, and guys, like, he's like on top, right? He used to work at Trillium, a real prop firm, not any of these online prop firms, a real Wall Street based prop firm. Actually, I think Trillium's in Chicago. I know S&B Capital is in Wall Street, but Trillium was in Chicago, I believe. But he's a real prop trader. These guys are real prop traders, not these little online things like I'm doing, or I know a lot of people are doing nowadays. But yeah, I'm trying to take his and their teaching, S&B's teachings, and how pretty much doing like daily report cards, playbooks, and their way of structuring, and pushing their traders what they need to do. It's not just like coming in, okay, we're going to come in, we're going to hit some buttons, right? We're buying this, we're selling this, we're doing this and doing that. But at the, once we're done, we just leave, shut off a computer, and that's it, right? So that's one thing that has got me to pretty much do this YouTube channel, is to pretty much recap my day. That was my main thing when I first started this channel, was to recap my day trading with Trade the Pool. I've traded for a long time. I've traded my personal accounts. I have never did anything like this, but once this Trade the Pool, I came aware of this Trade the Pool, and I'm an equities trader. I suck at not Forex. I started my journey like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, trading Forex, which I did pretty much okay with. This, I never traded a prop firm or anything with Forex. I traded my personal accounts. This was back when FXCM was in the US, so I don't know if you guys even know who. Well, I'm sure a lot of you guys from from Europe and whatnot are familiar with FXCM, but they used to be in the US, but they broke some rules and unfortunately had to close down shop, and all accounts were changed out to Forex. What was it, forex.com or something like that. But anyways, so futures is what I really suck at trading. I can't trade futures. I don't have the patience for it. It's not like you could do your pre-market analysis. And Lance, I'm not going to say the guy's last name because I'll butcher it, but yeah, Lance, he even pretty much says, like, equities are the way to go. When you look at the markets and you see the markets, and you want to find edge, and that's when I get back to, it's not about pushing buttons and try to catch this move, catch that move, and do this and do that. You got to find something that has edge, and futures, this could go really deep into, like, the efficient market theories and all this stuff here, where it could go really really deep. I don't want to get into that because that's a whole rabbit hole we could go down to for like hours. So but with equities, I'll just say with equities you could find something that has breaking news, you know um like what we're trading today, KWM or STSS. These companies had news. They have momentum behind them. They have a lot of traders, that trade these smaller cap stocks. Not only they're not, low float stocks. I know STSS only had a million share float. So overall, they're low float stocks and they could be pushed around. So, for better or for worse. But what I'm trying to say, they had a catalyst behind them to really move in one direction or the other, and a lot of times I like, doing the whole, gap and fade, stocks gapping up, 100% in the morning. I like to try to fade that move because I just think a lot of this news that comes out, and it just not, these stocks don't have no reason. If you look at their underlying fundamentals, the companies are actually losing money. But anyways, to get back to what I've been kind of trying to build out here, and been working on other things. I know this is just something that I want to show you guys, and I'm gonna bring onto my YouTube channel like every Friday while I'm building this app out. I'm gonna have like updates of progress review just for the app. I'm gonna do my trade the pool week recap at the end of the day. But I think on Friday I'll do like a recap of my progress building out this application. So I mean, I don't really have anything really a lot. I don't have none of these modules here built out. But the report card system, this is one of the things that let's say Lance and S&B Capital, Mike Bellafier, he's another one that I have a hard time pronouncing. So I'll just say Mike and Lance, guys at S&B Capital. So they talk about doing your report cards, right? Your daily report cards. And that's what I'm pretty much building here. So, in my daily report cards, I've thought about it. You're going to have a couple sections here. So you got morning prep. Morning prep, you could come in here. This is even before you kind of get into your analysis for the morning, but you could analyze your sleep quality, stress level, energy, focus, mood. If you had a workout, completed a workout, did some meditation, all this plays psychological to your performance for the day. So you got to be aware of these things. And of course, we're going to chart this with your performance and I'm going to integrate AI. So we're going to have some, AI with it. It's going to be actually a lot of, AI I'm doing. I don't want to get too technical, but we're going to have a vector database where the AI large language model could go into the vector database and grab your performance, grab your stats and all the stuff that you write, and you could train the AI on that. And the AI is going to be a performance coach. So it's going to be trained as a performance coach, and each user of the application is going to be different. So, it's not just going to be a general AI like a lot of applications out there really are. Is they don't actually train the AI on the user's data, which I plan on doing in this application. That's the only way to get a real performance coach, AI coach out of it, is to actually train the AI on the user's performance data. So yeah, but you could come in here and you'll be able to track all your mood, energy level, focus, and all that stuff there for the morning. And then you could write notes. So here you could, write some notes. I just got this dummy data in here. But yeah, and then what I'm thinking about, you could review your goals for the day. So you could click on your, oh, sorry guys. So yeah, I think you could come in here, click on your goals for the day. I mean, there's nothing here. This is just the pretty much the UI of the application. Nothing's really been implemented yet. And then you got so essentially you got pre-market prep, then you got your pre-market analysis, your intraday So this is like while the day's going on, you can come in here and do your notes and anything that's going on for that day. Then you got an end of day review. So at the end of the day, you go back and you review your whole day as a whole, you know, just like I'm doing with these YouTube videos. And then you'll have your performance, where you have your performance charts and all that stuff there. You'll upload your trades from your broker, and then it'll give you a breakdown of your performance for that day. And then you'll have this AI summary, which at the end of the day will pretty much summarize, you know, your day and give you recommendations. Maybe you didn't do your pre-market analysis and it knows that you have, you know, 30 days. Out of those 30 days, you have 5 days or 6 days that you didn't do your pre-market analysis. And since you haven't been, you're just jumping right into the, you know, trading, you know, you haven't really analyzed in the morning and you just jump right into trading. It'll know and it'll tell you like, hey, listen, you got to tighten up. You gotta, you know, you gotta start doing your pre-market analysis. It's affecting your P&L. So things like that. I mean, you know, trading's boring. We're here by ourselves, you know, unless if you're trading in a group or a real prop firm, you know, it's just us sitting in our office, our room, wherever. Or you could be like one of those guys on on Instagram sitting at the beach or in the pool with their laptop, you know, with a beer by their side, and, you know, sitting there saying, yeah, I'm up $20,000 today. All right, we'll get off that one, man. This is a little humor. I know I'm not gonna make these videos this long, but it's been a while since you know, since I've been away from you guys, and I haven't done these videos, my YouTube videos, my recaps. So yeah, I just want to kind of show you what I've been up to, what's been going on, and our new challenge. So we have to make $6,000. We got 30 days to do so, or if I want to pay another $400 for the $430 something for the account. But either here or there, I should be able to do $6,000 in 2 months. You know, my goal, I think, to set a goal, I think the goal is to try to make $4,000 per month with this account. If I could do that, you know, I'll be happy. So $1,000 a week, but that's not actually $1,000, because we got to take into account the profit split, and the profit split is you know, 30/70. So, you know, and that's why, you know, sounds okay, but it really does become a lot when you think about, okay, well, if I make, you know, $3,000, you know, that's almost like $1,000 that I have, you know, that I'm paying in you know, as far as a profit split. I wish I did 80/20. I think 80/20 would be ideal, especially for these larger accounts that you're paying more money for. I know they did have one in the past for, like, I want to say like a $250,000 buying power account, if I'm not mistaken, and they did have 80/20. That's what they call their legacy account. And the account, what it cost, I mean, it was like $1,200, $1,300 for the evaluation, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, still, you know, it's not for me to have access to that buying power, but it's just, you know, the profit splits are a lot better, and every $1,000 is $100 you're saving. So, you know, it's $400 on $4,000. So, but anyways, so yeah, like I said, when I do these recaps, I pretty much do them and I put them out there. I don't really do too much editing. You know, I just want to let you guys, for anybody new coming and watching this channel, checking my content out, I don't do any editing, so I'm just pretty much talking, doing my recaps, you know, and just going from there. So whether you like it, you don't. I know some people, they want, you know, scripted videos and, you know, things that really look good. I don't have that. I just go, I'm a trader, I'm a developer, I'm not a content, you know, content, you know, guy at all. Content creator, I guess you could call them. So, Yeah, it's just more of a kind of like blog style, you know, recap, trading recap, just what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and making progress, and just sharing it with you guys. Hopefully, you guys can learn. Like we just saw that trade, um, this one here up around six. What was that? 638. You know, that's something interesting. Take note of that. You know, you see that when you're trading, that's significant. You know, what's that mean? You know, you got 20, 30,000 shares on the bid, and you don't see any, you know, anybody on the offer, but you're seeing a lot of red come through on the tape. You know, somebody's hitting that bid. That bid did not hold, and I want to say that bid really got filled. I mean, you saw a lot of red on the tape, and I don't think there were just 100 share blocks. You know, there were 2, 3, 400 share blocks just hitting the bid, hitting the bid, and that actually put a high for the day, you know, on this stock. So, you know, keep that in mind, you know. So, you know, these are things like learn, you know, we learn together, we grow together. So anyways, I'm gonna pretty much wrap this up here, and if you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to leave them on in the comments. I just started getting back into X, so I noticed that I looked at my, well, Twitter, X, I guess last time I was on X, Twitter, it was Twitter. So I just noticed that in my last actually my last tweet, I guess I don't know what he called now, but my last tweet was 8 years ago. So I mean, and at that time I was trading Forex, I believe. Yeah, I think I was trading Forex, because I had my last tweet was like a TLT chart, I think it was, so, or gold chart. And that was 8 years ago, and that's when I was real big on posting stuff too on TradingView, when TradingView was really just getting going. So that's just how long I've been around. I've been around this stuff for a good little bit. I'm not a guru, or you know, I'm not any of that. So, you know, I'm just a trader that's trying to improve every single day that I'm doing this. That's it. And you know, and just grow. That's all we could do. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I thank you for your time. I appreciate you, and I thank you for, well, I thank all my subscribers that stuck around with me for almost going on a year of doing YouTube. And I know I only got, you know, not that many subscribers in the grand scheme of things, but you know, all the people that are interested in my content and that have left me, you know, great comments, you know, everybody's been so positive. I really appreciate you guys. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to keep it here, and I will be back tomorrow for another recap. I will leave my X account details in the description if you want to follow me. I'm posting a lot of stuff on my building out the app and everything. So if that's something you're interested in, check that out. And then you know, any questions, feel free to leave them. I try my best to answer everybody's questions. So on myself, I don't use any AI or anything like that to go through my comments and you know, do that. I answer them myself. So that's me personally. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments. You know, any likes, anything, that's appreciated. If not, then hey, that's cool too. All right. So you guys take care, and I will be back tomorrow.